Today we're gonna look inside and see the Bose 900 soundbar, and we're gonna shoot it like a bazooka at the camera because I think that would be really cool. Like, don't break your camera. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel Tech with KG. On this channel, I will be reviewing a ton of tech, including home theater reviews like TVs and soundbars like this one. First things first, the Bose 900 soundbar is a very capable soundbar, but the price tag is pretty hefty. And for it being a standalone soundbar, is that warranted? A big reason why I got the Bose 900 soundbar in the first place was its Atmos compatibility. I also wanted to get it to compare to the Sonos Arc, which is a very similar soundbar, and I'll also be reviewing that on my channel very soon. And yes, I will have a head-to-head video comparing these two soon enough, so if you want to be notified when that is posted, please consider subscribing and turn on all notifications using the bell icon. So let's talk about what's in the box really quickly. In the box you have the bar itself, an HDMI cable, a power cable, an optical cable, an Adaptique headset, more on that later, and a remote controller. A lot of soundbars have done away with the remote controller itself, but it seems like Bose really likes to keep that option for us, which I know a lot of people are going to be very thankful of them doing. Okay, now briefly, let's talk about how to set your soundbar up. Number one, you want to make sure that your TV is set up in your settings menu to allow EARC if this is going to be how you're connecting your soundbar. This is going to give you the best performance from Atmos. Number two, you want to make sure to plug in the HDMI cable to the correct EARC port on your TV. If you don't have an EARC port, you need to use the port labeled ARC. If you're connecting via optical cable, make sure you connect that instead. But please be aware that you can't carry Atmos over an optical connection. Number three, you're going to want to go to your phone's app store and download the Bose app. Follow all the instructions within the app for allowing it to connect to the Wi-Fi, and from there it'll likely ask you to do an update. You gotta be aware though that this update took about 15 minutes to finish. But after that, you're all set up and ready to go. If you followed all the directions, you should now be able to use your soundbar to its full capability. Next, let's talk about the overall performance of this soundbar, and then we'll get into some sound clips. The Atmos effect is actually pretty decent, and it should really impress people that aren't used to the Atmos effect from a home theater system. For the most part, if you haven't owned a Atmos soundbar before or heard Atmos at all, you're going to be impressed with this soundbar. Now, the overhead effect is kind of hit or miss for a lot of content. Some content really did make it stick out, but that could just be dependent on the content that you're watching in the first place. Now, there is definitely a better feeling of everything being around you. There is that surround sound effect that you are getting from this 900 soundbar, and you would expect that from a soundbar that costs just as much as this soundbar does. It's really important to kind of point out the fact that this is a very expensive soundbar, and you have to be getting your money's worth when you are buying something like this, or else you're gonna want to go with a cheaper option. Now let's talk about the bass in this soundbar. So I am judging this soundbar by itself. I don't have any accessories with it. If you're looking to get a soundbar with some pretty good bass, this is actually a pretty good option. The bass was very punchy, and I felt it for the most part in movies. It really did hit me in my chest. I really liked the way that it sounded. The only complaint that I have with this bass is that when things get really intense and scenes are hectic, you have music going on, you have sound effects going on, and you also have bass blaring, the bass can tend to get a little muddy. So having a subwoofer to be able to handle the bass is going to be very beneficial. The first thing that you should do if you are adding onto your soundbar systems, and this is going to fly for the Sonos as well, is add the subwoofer before you add the side channel speakers, because for the most part, unless you're in a bigger room, you're not going to really have the need for those side speakers as much as you would for some bass. I think that getting the subwoofer over the side speakers is really the move for this soundbar. For the most part though, I don't think most people will want to get a subwoofer with this bar because it is very loud. If you're trying to avoid annoying your neighbors, then you might want to just stick with the bar by itself. It is very capable of giving you some impactful bass. And even in music, the 808s on hip hop tracks and EDM tracks really did kind of hit more than you would expect from a soundbar like this. In movies, the bass was great as well, and it really did deliver that heart-pounding feeling that you would get when you are in a theater. So having this and being able to call it a home theater soundbar is definitely true to form. One thing about the soundbar is when I was watching interviews, the dialogue is very clean and very clear. The sound is very crisp, and you can actually hear the entire room of the person that you're listening to when it comes to dialogue. For example, I was watching a creator on YouTube and you can tell that his room wasn't treated. You could hear his room and the reverb in it very clearly. And this is something that I usually don't catch when I'm just watching through TV speakers. But with a soundbar like this, you could really hear what is going on with his recording. And you can hear that, yes, he is in an untreated room and the reverb is just bouncing all over the place. And really, this is something that I usually only pick up when I'm listening to stuff on headphones. So this was very cool to hear. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys a couple of samples of the audio I recorded. Now this is just very subjective, and this is played through a microphone. So make sure you're using headphones in this situation, but even then, I don't think I can replicate what this soundbar actually sounds like through a microphone. So I'm just going to give you this audio sample because it's always highly requested in reviews. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that right now.
We need you to come in.
Are you kidding? I'm working.
This takes precedence.
I'm in the middle of an interrogation. This moron is giving me everything.
I don't give everything.
Let me put you on hold.
Sir, please put down the spear.
So what do you guys think about the Bose 900 soundbar? Are you going to buy it, or are you going to wait for something better? Let me know in the comments. If you already have a soundbar, tell me which one you have. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys are rocking with for sound. Sound is very important to me, so I'm looking for the best soundbar solution for myself personally. Right now I'm rocking with a Beam from Sonos, and I'm thinking it's time to upgrade. So that's why I'm checking these out. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing for future content, like when we put this soundbar up against the Arc from Sonos. I can't wait to compare these two. So this is definitely a good soundbar, but I'm gonna imagine you want a good TV to go with it as well. And that is my specialty. So go ahead and check out my TV reviews right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.